Okay, let's look at Lab 3. I have the directions up here and where we left off on Lab 2. So there's not a lot to be done on Lab 3. The first thing is the paragraph spacing. If you look here, it says you want a gap between the sections without inserting a new paragraph. So you don't want to use the enter button. And the first one is in the header. You want an email 12 point after the email address. Well, when we look at our example, we've got this, but look here. This is the enter button making that space. So we want to delete that enter button. And when you look at the sample down here, see this space here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the header and right after the email address. So we're going to click on the email address line. We're going to go to the Home tab, and one of your options is right here. You see the line and paragraph spacing again, and go to the line spacing options, and we want 12 point, isn't that what it says? 12 point after. So in the spacing down here, click on these, the rotator buttons there, and click OK. There's our space. So now we're going to go down to the body, and where else? All bold and underline items 12 point before. Well, let's look at the sample here. We've already got the one before the summary. The skills, once again, that's a hard enter, so we're going to remove that, and we're going to go to the paragraph spacing, the line spacing options, and 12 point before. Okay, 12 point before, and click OK. And you're going to go on and you're going to do all of these. You're going to put, we did it before the skills, the work history, we're going to remove that and put 12 point before. Between each of these job information, you're going to do the same thing. Here you have a lot of enter or tabs, so you want to get rid of all of these so that you can see that you're setting up the spacing correctly. Once again, here's another hard enter. So use your paragraph spacing like that. So now what's the next thing we need to do? We need to review the document. We need to go through the spell checking. And when you take a close look here at the spell checker, anytime you have this red squiggly line, that means that there's something spelled wrong. You can right click and Word will give you options for correct spelling. This one, be very careful. Read the context of the line before you decide which of these words you're going to use. It happens to be challenge here. On Torchmate and SolidWorks are correct. Plasma, that should be plasma. So the other way you can get to the spell checker is you can click on Review, and over here on the far left is the spell checker. Well, look here. It's not the first option. You don't want plasma, palma, you want plasma. So click on plasma, click change, and it corrects the spelling. And go on through the rest of the document, watch your spelling. If some of these words are something you're going to use a lot, like Torchmate, it's a software plus it's a skill, you can always right click on this and you can say add it to the dictionary. Like for those of you who have a unique name and you're on your own computer, add your name to the dictionary so that every time you do your spell checking it won't find it again. So it'll just save you some time later on. So that's your spelling. Then make sure that you have your show hide button lit right up here so you can see all of these paragraph markers. On your the directions on page 3, there is a print screen here, or a PDF of what your document should look like. So you need to compare and see where you've got extra spaces. Look, you've got a lot of extra spaces here. You need to take these out. Here there's a lot of spaces, and that dot means that somebody hit the space bar. So remove all of these spaces so that yours looks like the sample, and keep going down. If you did not use your tabs and you tabbed over here multiple times, you'll see two of these arrows like this. So make sure that yours matches the sample for the greatest number of points. The extra credit that is marked here, you can use the find and replace button. That is, I'm trying to widen this so you can see it, right up here in the far right hand side of the word, the home tab. So use your find and replace. You can use your sources. You have videos, you have your book, and replace all of the incidents of ACE, ACE, with acetylene. Also, as you see in the sample here, if you take a close look at the sample, you see the margin on the name and the address, the contact information, is set at 1/2 inch, where the body of the document is set at 3/4. If you can figure out how to do this through all of your resources, that will also be extra credit. So that would be nice to add some extra credit to your projects, to your labs. So go ahead and start working on 3. If you have any questions, please let me know.